Hi, and welcome to this video on inheritance. In this first video, I'm going to demonstrate how to set up a class to be inherited or inherit from another class, and then how to write the constructor method for that derived class. In fact, let me talk about a little bit of terminology here. So in this example, we're working with a class called shape, and we're going to call it the base class. And our base class is the class we're inheriting from. And then we're going to create a square class, and that class is going to be called the derived class, and that class inherits from the base class. Okay, so shape is our base class. I've kept it very simple. We have a private section with our XY coordinates. We have a constructor, and we have a method to draw its shape. I've already tested it. I know it works. It's pretty simple. So let's get right into the main part. How do we create a new class from this class? So the way we do it is we do it like this. We write class square, and then a colon, and then public shape. What I'm saying is that I want square to be able to call the public methods from the shape class directly inside the definition of square. That's what we mean when we write colon public shape. Now, X and Y are still going to be private member variables. And so later on I'm going to have to create access methods for those, getters and setters, or at least getters. But for now, we're going to just stick with making the constructor. So let's define the constructor. Well, first of all, we're going to have to add a little bit to our square class. Well, let's do width and height. So we're going to have height and width for our square. So a square will have a XY point of coordinate point, and then it will have a height and a width, which of course will be the same. In the public section, we're going to create our constructor. Whoops, hit caps lock by accident. So there it is. Now notice what we do right here. After the parameter list, actually, let's change the parameter list. Sorry. Let's do height first. Now. So let me go back and show you what I've done. I have called the base class constructor with public access using the colon before I call the constructor for square. So the first thing that happens is we're going to add the X and Y coordinates to our square class, but our square class inherits the private member variables of shape. So it now has an X and Y. And then we've added the height and the width as new parts, okay? And those are going to be passed in those parameters right there, all right? Now the next thing we want to do is we want to do a draw method so we can draw our own square. Well, actually, we're not going to, well, I'll tell you what, I'll show you what it does. Let's not create a new one. Let's leave it like it is and watch what happens. I'll save that for the next video. Sorry for the confusion. So let's create a square. So it has the X and Y coordinates of 1 and 2, and the height and the width are also 3. And then let's do an SQ1 draw. So when we run this, we're going to see that it picks up. And notice that what happened was, because we inherited all the public members of shape, we picked up the draw function, which, let me make it where you can see it. There you go. It says drawing a shape at X and Y. Okay, so it's using that base class definition for draw to do that. So what we're going to have to do is, and I'll do that in the next video, is I'm going to override that definition so that square has its own draw. But what I wanted to demonstrate here was how you create the constructor. And the way you do that is that you name it as the derived class name, provide all the parameters that you need, and then before the body of the constructor, you call the base class constructor right there. That's the key point to remember. And if you remember that, you'll be doing fine. So, thanks for watching. In the next video, we'll talk about how to override the draw member function and talk about some other things.